Welcome everyone. Again, please add yourself to the list of attendees here in the list. I shared this link again. I don't know if everyone had already access to it. So for today, we have so far a single issue to discuss. This exposed Keptn metric integration test that works only one time. Moritz, do you have anything to add beside you cannot run multiple times locally?
Not really. We could probably pretty easily fix it by checking different stuff in the test, but other than that.
Anna, you provide instead this link to Kato.
Yeah, I was wondering, because now this is easily fixable, but it's not a given that it will always be the case. So I was wondering whether we should use the test suite default, which would be setting up the cluster with the test and tearing it down. So this would mean configuring the kind cluster directly in Cattle instead of installing things on a separate command. And the same goes for installing the lifecycle toolkit. So we could add those Kubernetes commands to the Cattle test.
So right now we are setting up everything here, the kind cluster and the KLT. We should refactor this into setup kind and set up KLT on cluster. So we can make use of this test environment and then install KLT directly on top of that, right?
Is the issue though relevant for the pipelines? Because here the integration tests are only executed on a new environment and anyway, so it's more about the local.
Yeah, the only change in the pipeline would be that we delete the install action and we just use the make end-to-end test, because then it would be all handled by.
But you're right, the bug is only for local development. On the pipeline, since we only run the test once, it's
We
fine.
don't care, yeah.
We don't have any CI. GitHub Actions, actually, we do have it. Well, I don't have a strong opinion.
I would say the including the setup of the cluster is a good idea as long as it stays optional, because sometimes it's also preferable to run the tests on some state of the cluster you currently have when working on a new feature, and then it might be a little bit too much overhead to recreate the cluster on each run.
We would leave still the local configuration, the local command, the same as it is now.
But this will not work with this test environment.
These are two different configuration files. So you just call two separate commands. The one with the configuration with the kind and the one without. It can be done. I don't know if it's worth it. It was just a question here.
I don't know. That would mean that we also need to build and deploy QLT every time, right?
Deploy every time, not
Deploy
build
at
it.
least,
Yeah.
But then what version are you deploying?
Well, depending if it's local, we need to split the two topics now. One, when it runs in the pipeline, it's the latest one, always the one that you are testing in your PR.
Yeah,
locally,
pipeline is easy.
Yeah, locally is you decide what you are deploying since it's local.
Yeah, but then you need to kind of deploy in between one part of the command and the second part of the command, since you create the cluster and then run tests.
I see your point. I will say limitation for local development.
I would actually say let's leave it how it is right now and just fix the test.
Exactly. But for future, if we cannot solve it in the future. Uh, the test and change the assertions. If it happens again, let's reevaluate this in the future, we'll say. Nice. Then we don't. Perfect. Anything else then in the list? Refresh, nothing. Anything from the chat here? Looks like nope. So today, this is a very small meeting. Nice. Friendly reminder. Next week, KubeCon EU. So we will cancel most likely all different community meetings because we will mostly be there at KubeCon. And there is also a Keptn project meeting on Friday, I guess. I forgot exactly when it is, when all community related topic will be discussed there. And we will present the results of this in-person meeting in the following up week at the next community meeting. FYI. And with that, I think we are done. Then have a great rest of your day, everyone. And see you tomorrow at the community meeting. Bye.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.